SEO pricing discrimination. SEO price discrimination, value-based pricing, you know, basing your services on the amount of dollars that the client or customer is going to make, right? Like, oh, the chiropractor makes more per appointment, the lawyer makes more per appointment, and basing your services off of that is the absolute definition of price discrimination, right? I made a video maybe 2 weeks ago by now on my pricing strategy. And I got it's one of the videos where very helpful to some, but there was a lot of comments I had to turn off, right? And I don't care. Okay, I'm, blocking somebody's hustle. Right is right and wrong is wrong, right? In my opinion. And I can have my own opinion. It's my channel, right? But in any case, my name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In this video, what I'd love to talk about is SEO pricing, value-based SEO pricing, and also SEO pricing discrimination. Let's first and foremost cover some definitions, and then I want to share with you a small example, and then you can make your decision up for yourself. All right? The very definition of selling based on a perceived value of what something is worth is what we call value-based pricing. So we see this all the time, especially in the search marketing industry. It's not sat with me. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should, right? I've always seen this. Oh, hey, the SEO campaigns for law firms, I mean, they start at 10 grand, and we're going to talk about that. But value-based pricing based on perceived value. Or even better, look at this. If I sell a service to businesses at two different costs, what's that called, right? Same product, two different costs, right? If I sell the same product, but for different costs, what's this called? SEO price discrimination. It's literally definition textbook wrong, right? Now let's talk about this, right? Let's have a small discussion about this, because I got so much flack for breaking down productized and an equal exchange of value. And yes, I understand you're running a managed campaign. There's time, but that's to be factored in. But we can't, I see this time and time again as we intake clients. They'll sell a client for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. They'll do the bare minimum, pocket the rest. Let's talk about this from a campaign level. Let's break this down. All right. Some may agree with me, some may not. To me, a service is a service. The cost is the cost. Let's talk about a campaign. Okay. Let's come down this page, and let's do two separate campaigns. What makes up SEO? Or better yet, let's do it this way. So no matter what, we're going to talk about a local business. All right. We're going to have two separate local businesses with two separate prices. But let's break down our campaign, okay, together for fun, okay? Just to better explain this. So intake, let's say audit, okay? After an audit, right? We're going to audit, assess the damage. Let's say we're going to do page creation, okay? We got to upload them. We have to interlink them. Images, right? We're going through the services. We've audited the issue. We're going to create our pages. We're going to upload our pages. We're going to interlink our pages. We're going to create images for our pages. After that, we have to structure site, right? So the thought process of, oh, well, what should we do? Now we're going to create blog content, right? More pages. Really, blog content is just pages. Okay, so we've audited, we've created pages, we've uploaded the pages, we interlink the pages, we have the images, the site structure, the blog content on the pages. We're talking about SEO pricing discrimination and my disdain with value-based pricing and price discrimination, right? That's what we're talking about here, all right? So now we're breaking down a campaign. We're actually going to do 2 campaigns, all right? So audit, page creation, upload, interlink, images, site structure, blog content pages, okay? We have our informational, citation, right? Location citations, okay? Niche citations. Directory listings, right? Niche directory, all right? Data aggregator, okay? Data aggregation submission, right? Now we're building out our campaign. We're doing some of our off-page stuff, correct? Right? And for the most part, we pretty much have everything. We're not talking about, we might as well. Okay, we're going to leave off web design because the time and the impact, most people already have the site there in place. That's its own service. We're talking about SEO services, not web design. Web design is something different, in my opinion. I don't do web design. I do SEO. I do search engine marketing. I do content marketing. So we're auditing, creating the page, uploading, interlinking, doing our images, site structure. We're creating blog content, citations, local citations, niche citation, directory listings, niche directory listings, data aggregation submission. There's a lot going on. Yes, for sure. Then on top of that, depending on pages, these are both the equal amount of pages on a website, right? But what we're looking at here is 2 separate niches. The same things need to be done, maybe in different volumes, depending on how many services or how many locations, but the same thing needs to be done, right? So data aggregators, let's say we're going to do some guest posting. Let's say we're going to do a press release, okay? And let's say we're going to do some Haro, okay? Now, look at, let's just say that this is pretty much about it, right? Now, here's the difference. Right? See the issue? Right? It's the same order of business. Yes. If we have the same amount of pages, the same amount of links, the same amount of images, it's really the same thing except for the pictures are different and the words are different. Yes, there are going to be instances where we need more links, right? But how many times is there, oh, these are lawyer-specific links. These are chiropractor-specific links. Hey, how many referring domains does it have? How much traffic does it get? And which category, which link graph is it in? That's what matters, right? I could put any spin I want on it to increase the perceived value. Perceived value selling is value-based pricing. I dislike it. On top of that, if I'm going to sell you, if I'm going to go to a plumber, if there's an agency, when I get somebody in the door as a plumber, I say, all right, $1,200 a month. And then I get the next guy in and I tell him 10 grand a month because he's a lawyer and the leads are worth more to him. That's discrimination. That's against the law. I can't do that. I don't know why I'm in the wrong here. Like, is it me? And that's why I'm doing this live. I'm curious to get some feedback. I would like to have a discussion around this because you should have saw some of the comments I got when I did a productized presentation. And I left off all link building. We were just doing pages. I was just trying to give a blueprint of, hey, here's how we break down things. I charge for time, consultation, But every single task, because the thing that I hate about value-based pricing is this. Let's take this away. We have this, and yes, you and I both know that clients, the only thing they care about is the phone ringing and is their bottom line doing, what's the bottom line, right? How much dollars, how many phone calls, like the traffic, the links, all of that is secondary or minor as opposed to the true KPIs, which are really going to be phone calls and dollars in the door, right? So let's have a small discussion around this because you just saw the comments. Like it was quite interesting to me. But the thing that I dislike the most is I set a price, and without the individual itemized breakdown of each thing to equal the dollar amount, then you're always trying to convey your worth. This is value-based pricing, right? And I'm sure in some markets and in some instances and some clients, I'm sure maybe there's no problem because the perceived value is high and you're getting away with it. But me personally, I just like it immense, and I'd like to have a conversation around it. I'd love to see what you have to say. Go ahead and put it into the chat. See, customers love productized. Other people selling dislike productized, right? Other people I talk to where, let's take for instance, I offer a CTR service for say $70 per month. I know people that sell the exact same service for $197 per month, right? Same thing. But again, too, if you looked at perceived value or value-based pricing is where, and they also call this, there's another pricing, these are pricing strategies, right? You know, there's moral pricing strategies and there's immoral pricing strategies. Me, myself, we like to do what is called penetration pricing. On top of that, it's productized, right? Now, when we take a look at the value, let's talk about it. I'd love to see this. Let's have a small talk. Alex, how are you, brother? It's good to see you. I have an SEO pricing related question. I would love some of your thoughts. But this is the main point that I want to get across to you. If you're a business owner, if you're doing SEO, or if you're doing SEO services, you know, there's nothing more that's worse than, you know, charging a high rate. And I know, like, hey, I'm in the industry. I talk to all my friends are in the industry, and I get busted all the time. Oh, you're too cheap, this and that. Yeah, but I can account for every dollar, and I never, ever, 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 ever have to convey the worth. I have superior knowledge, and I'm offering you a fair price service. I'm offering you the best service for the best price. Like there's never a question of dollars. That's never the issue, ever, you know? And if you're just getting into the SEO industry, I would highly recommend, like, yeah, I know agencies, I know law firm agencies right now that we've been picking clients off of. They're starting at 10, bare minimum, got to sign up 6 months. Starting at 10 from the rip, and yeah, they send pretty reports, but then when you go and look at the work, yeah, they build a pretty website. They're not building links. They're not doing any of the stuff. Like, yeah, you build a really nice site, but then you're only building 10 links a month. Where the rest is that going? You know, and you know, if you watch me and you're going to start offering SEO, I would highly, highly, highly recommend, not only from a moral standpoint, but just for your own karmic debt standpoint. Hey, it's an equal value exchange. And then, hey, if you want to charge slightly more because, hey, maybe you created your own PBN, but price accordingly. I can't take an item or a product because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. SEO is already commoditized, right? At the end of the day, there's 9 trillion people doing it. Let's be fair. That's all. But anyway, let's see what you guys have to say. I'll answer some questions here. Helen, hey, good to see you. Alex, hey, would you explain to a prospective customer how much new business they stand to gain if they improve their rankings for a specific keyword? Would love your take. Could you do it for Painter Plano? So let's take a look at this, okay? See, how I always explain it is very simple. So this is a really good question when we're talking about pricing or what can they hope to gain? All right. So a painter in Plano. So all we can use is because I don't know each and every market's national averages. But what we can take is we can take average conversion rates of a website, and then we can equate that to our own. So when we have a customer such as Painter in Plano, all right, like if we were able to get to the top positions for Painter in Plano, this is an example that Alex, a subscriber, if you're just watching this, maybe you can't see the chat, he's asking me about. He wants to use this as an example. Like, how would I convey the value and what can they expect to receive if I spend the money, make the investment to try to rank for Painter in Plano? Like, how would you convey this? Well, what I would go take a look at is, well, who's winning for this? Who's up there? Well, I see these two players, and no, I don't know who these sites are. Okay, this is just an example for educational purposes. All right, so I just want to point this out here. So what I would do is I would take a look here, and this is the top person for this particular keyword. So if I have a business that wants to go after just one little tiny keyword, let's take a look at this. All right, so we come inside of here. We're going to go to our organic research. Top keywords is painters in Plano. 12% of their overall, so painter, Plano painters. Okay, so this guy's really doing some serious numbers here. So give me 1 second here. Well, good percentages. Usually when I see keywords like this, they only have 1 or 2 keywords that actually generate traffic for these keyword or keyword variations. And the math is always very simple. It's always black and white. That's why I love SEO, because numbers don't lie, right? Everything is, it's data, right? Like it's math. It's so simple and logical that I love it. Like personally, I just love it. So what we're doing is we're pitching a client. They want to rank for Plano painters, painter in Plano, right? So how much should they invest and what type of traffic or phone calls can they hope to actually receive if they win these keywords? Well, you go to the top performer that's already doing it and you look at those specific keyword sets for that specific page. Because if we were in that position, we would be getting very, very similar, if not the same, right? But you have to note they probably have some type of referral traffic, which would be coming in off their brand name, not the specific keyword. So let's take a look here. So if we go down this list here, all right, so that's 12. 12 and 12 is 24. 34. 39. 44. 50. 55%. 55%. So 55, roughly 55, because remember the tools that we're utilizing, we're not Google. SEMrush isn't Google, even though they're one of, probably they're my favorite tool. Like right now, they're my favorite for especially keyword research, this type of thing. So when we come in here and we take a look here, if 55% of the traffic, all right, so almost half, because they're also pulling in for interior. There's some other keywords here. So half of this traffic, 25 visitors on a monthly recurring basis. If you were to get into the upper positions, logically, I would say, hey, if you got into the upper positions, you could look to receive 25 to 50 new people on your website each and every month. Well, Chris, how many jobs will that turn into? Well, on average, generally, for a local website that's targeting a high commercial intent keyword, 4% will actually be a job. Okay? Some sites convert at a magical rate. Like if this was e-com or something along these lines, I'd say 1 or 2%. But usually localized websites that are highly optimized for high commercial intent keywords are in the 4 to 6% range. On average, some markets are different, right? So if we're looking at this and we could just say, hey, 30 to 50 visitors on a monthly basis, realistically, because this is only one keyword that we're looking at. We're looking for painter Plano, painters Plano, and any variation thereof, not interior painting Plano, that's different. I'm only looking at this keyword set. If I were to win, what could I hope to receive? I would say you could potentially get 1 to 2 extra jobs on a monthly recurring basis by bringing in this keyword. And I would be Very, 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 very strong to stand on that. If I could get into the upper first or second positions for this keyword, I would guarantee the customer at least 1 to 2 extra jobs on a monthly basis. But ideally, what I would really want is, hey, let's get into the upper positions, 1 to 2 jobs in the top spots organically. But on top of that, let's double down. Let's get into the 3-pack, which will be another 1 to 2 jobs. Let's say that's 4. And then on top of that, let's also start running some guaranteed and or organic and or banner ads to retarget the people that have already been on our asset or are visiting our competitors' assets, right? And that would probably be another 1, 2, maybe 3. So by doing these things, we could guarantee that we could probably see an uptake of somewhere around 7 new customers by allocating this budget. Now, it's on the business owner. Do I want to invest the dollars? Because how much would this cost to get into this position? We're going to take time out of the equation, even though it's the most important factor in SEO. Page age trumps all other factors. The age of the page is crucial, very important. Yes, you might be able to run right up the ladder, but to take these top spots, age is a factor, big time. Because why would they move the top 3 or top 5 people when they've been there? It's tried and true. Remember, Google's a product, right? So if you have a product and you've been using the same vendor, let's say you're a manufacturer of roofing shingles, and I've been using GAF for the last 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, you would really have to prove to me that LGF is that much better for me to make that change. Well, why is Google or the SERPs any different? Google's a product. You would really have to prove to them that you're that much